Hey family, Pastor Willingham here. It is day 17 of 2024, day 17 of 2024. Let's talk here about rules. Let's talk about rules. I'm looking here at Genesis 2nd chapter, verses 16 and 17. And it reads here, and the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. And so, again, being made in the image and likeness of God is an awesome power. And with that power comes responsibility. With power comes responsibility. You know, God is not going to allow us to walk this earth in his image and exist in his image without giving us responsibility, without giving us rules. Otherwise, you know, people would just do anything. And many times we do still struggle dealing with rules. You know, one of the greatest issues with any of us individually or within families, within communities and on the world scale, global scale is rules. You know, how we respect rules, you know, how we operate within rules and laws. And so God here, he placed man in the garden, you know, and he told us, you know, there were certain things in the garden, certain trees in the garden that we could partake of. There was certain things clearly that God said we could have. But then there were also parameters when God says you can eat freely of certain trees in the garden, but of the tree of knowledge, of the knowledge of good and evil, you can't eat of it. You can't eat of it, for in the day that thou should eat of it, thou shalt surely die. And so, again, God here showing us with power comes responsibility. With power comes parameters. And it's the most dangerous thing in the world for any of us to have power with no parameters. God intends for us to have power, but he intends for us to have boundaries. He intends for us to have limitations. He intends for us to exhibit a type of self-control. He doesn't stop the man from eating from the forbidden trees because he gives us free will, but part of our development as Christians is towards self-control. There'll be things that we can have. God will not stop us from partaking of things that we shouldn't have. God will give us the rules, but we have to develop the self-discipline to not take things that are outside of our realm of authority or that violate our authority. And thereby we violate God when he says that you shall surely die. And we die a spiritual death whenever we violate rules, whenever we abuse authority, whenever we operate outside the parameters of the authority that God has given us. And we all have some level of authority by being who we are, by the jobs we have, the roles we play, and so forth. And so examine rules, how we respect rules and how we operate within rules is very critical to our success. And so examine rules today and your orientation to rules. How do you operate within rules? God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.